Coming up on Mountain News this morning, tourism hit an all-time high last year in the Commonwealth. And school systems are preparing for the upcoming school years, but some are taking care of their staff before it begins.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on August 9th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. It's about time that the kids are waking up to start heading back to school. Quite a few people across the region are going back today. So.
Exactly, but here in Perry County, nobody's back on the road yet, and then in my adopted home county of Letcher County, nobody's going back yet.
Nope.
I think actually Jenkins might be going back today, so watch out for the school buses. I'll check that here when we're doing this weather. I've got the back to school list pulled up over here, but anyway, patchy fog out there this morning, so be careful of that. Dense fog down toward the Cumberland Valley, Southwest Virginia border, Harlan, Jonesville, Jacksboro, 0 visibility, Williamsburg and Middlesboro, 1 mile, Pikeville down to 4, Somerset down to 5. Remember, anything less than 5 miles is dense fog. Downtown Hazard from Triangle Park, 63 down that way this morning. A little bit of light traffic, a little bit of light fog, and the temperatures basically in the 60s everywhere, low to mid 60s except for Clintwood at 57. Breakfast forecast, if you're getting up and getting moving, low 60s, heading into the mid 80s this afternoon, sunshine early after the fog goes away, and then we'll see some clouds increase late, but the rain chances should hold off until you get home from school or work a little bit later on. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon. One Central Kentucky Animal Care and Control is seeing an increase of cases involving illicit drugs. Lexington Fayette Animal Care and Control says they have seen 4 separate cases of dogs overdosing within the last month. Out of the 4 dogs, only 1 has survived. Whether it be opioids, amphetamines, or prescription drugs, any amount of toxicity can cause harm to an animal.
So much in the same way that these drugs can kill a person, they can kill an animal. And the bigger problem is that, if you compare the size of a person to the size of a dog, whether, a Chihuahua, for example, the same amount of drug that a person may take is a ginormous dose, or for a Chihuahua, it's such a high dose and it can be very dangerous for them.
Dr. Goggins says around 1 to 3 cases a week involve illicit drugs or other toxins, usually in dogs. One flood survivor was given the keys to her new home yesterday in Breathitt County, one that is out of the flood zone. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more on the special day.
Housing Can't Wait, an initiative created by organizations such as the Housing Development Alliance and FAHI and supported by organizations like Federal Home Loan Bank. HDA Executive Director Scott McReynolds says projects are ramping up across the region.
So across the region right now we have about 10 to 12 flood houses under construction in addition to our normal work. We'll continue to do that. So we're just going to keep plugging away. We're going to do our part. I know everybody else is going to do their part, and we're going to try to get people back in houses as quick as we can.
However, for Velma McIntosh, she has waited for more than a year to get a new home. Last year, her home along Highway 30 in Breathitt County washed away, leaving her to stay with various family members before landing in a FEMA trailer.
I moved from one place to another one, and neither one I didn't feel welcome, but it's a place to stay till you could get a place to stay. But when I did get the trailer, I was absolutely thrilled with it.
But now she has a new home along the same road she lived before the flood, and she says she's happy to be out of the flood zone.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It is. I know then that I don't have to worry about the water anymore. Got me a home out of the flood zone. That's all I want.
Breaking her knee along the way, the past year for McIntosh has been difficult, but now she is healed and has a new place to call home. In Breathitt County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
McIntosh says she does not know what is next as she is focused on taking it day by day. Governor Andy Beshear visited Floyd County yesterday, announcing the next step in the final phase of the Mountain Parkway expansion. Team Kentucky announced the winning bid for the construction of the final piece of the parkway, Bazak Construction Company. Governor Beshear says the local company completing the work will soon provide a game-changing opportunity for the region.
Obviously, the easier it is to get to different parts of Kentucky, the more tourists that we'll see. But it'll also help more people fall in love with Eastern Kentucky, move to Eastern Kentucky, and bring businesses.
Beshear says the promise to Kentuckians made more than 60 years ago is now coming to fruition. Governor Andy Beshear was also in Lexington yesterday, touting recent successes for Kentucky tourism. State officials say last year was the best year in the state's history for tourism, economic impact, and employment. About 75 million travelers visited the state in 2022, bringing in nearly $9 billion into the state's economy. Officials say 2023 is shaping up to be a great year as well.
60% of travelers who visited Kentucky in 2020 reported that they felt that Kentucky was a safe travel destination.
Fayette County broke the $1 billion mark in total revenue earned due to the spike in tourism. For the last 3 years, many Eastern Kentucky schools have felt the impact of the pandemic as well as the flood. And yesterday, before Hazard Independent Schools welcomed students back into their classrooms, the faculty and staff gathered together for a day of fun. I was able to go and talk to some ahead of the upcoming school year. Faculty and staff started their Tuesday morning kayaking from downtown Hazard to Perry County Park. Superintendent Sandra Combs says the day of fun is all about getting the staff together before the busy school year begins.
We like spending time together, and when you can just have fun, meet new staff, and hopefully be ready to kick off and have a great school year.
A day all about the faculty and families. Roy G. Eversole Principal Derek Allen says it is great for the teachers to get out of the classroom and enjoy one last day of summer before the students walk back through the doors next week.
I think just relax, and teaching and general education can be stressful, so it's nice to get out and have some fun with your coworkers and just enjoy the day. But I really like the kayaking. I think it's a great thing we have here in Hazard.
And Hazard High School teacher and Vice Principal Luke Glazer said it is a perfect day to remind staff what they do is important, and everyone deserves to have fun.
Education's hard work on a regular day, right? Our chances to interact with one another are few and far between because we're always teaching or putting out a fire or filling out paperwork or making sure we're at morning duty or afternoon duty. So something like this is just a chance to take a deep breath and recommit to the work that we've chosen to do with the people we've chosen to do it with.
But as one teacher explains, she's excited to finally see the students walk through the doors again.
I really can't wait to see our kids. It's really been such a long time. They grow so much and change so much over the summer.
Believing this school year, students and staff will continue to excel. After the kayaking trip, families and other staff members gathered at Perry County Park for food, games, and swimming. Hazard Independent Schools start back on August 16th. The USA Mullet Championship is down to the final 25. And for one 3-year-old Eastern Kentucky boy, that means he is one step closer to a major prize. WYMT's Jack Demler has more.
Tristan Bowling is all about business, at least as far as his mullet goes.
He's won 6 awards since he started this. He won 2 last year. He won first place at the Elk Mountain Festival and first place at the Chicken Festival. One of them he won $100 and one was $25. And then this year he's won a bike, he's won 2 trophies, plus he's won about $200 this year.
And now he has the chance to win $5,000 at the USA Mullet Championship.
We've come a long way and we're really excited about it.
And for the child with the nickname Hot Rod, that could mean a trip to the beach.
That's all he talks about is the beach. He wants to go to the beach.
But in order to do that, he needs community support.
We just need everybody to vote for him.
Looking to bring in votes for the party in the back. In Clay County, Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
Kendra says they plan to continue to enter Tristan into more mullet contests in the future and have no timeline on how long the mullet will stay.
Coming up on 6:10 this morning as we head out the door, I was going to try to show you Jenkins, which is actually having school today. They start school today, but my transportation cabinet cameras are down. That's what that is. So we're taking you to UVA Wise in Southwest Virginia, the closest I can get right now. And you see 61, a little patchy fog, a little patchy clouds over there, but it should shape up to be a fairly nice day. 57 in Clintwood. Everybody else right now, at least, is in the 60s, low to mid 60s out there across the region. Warmest spot in the region, 66 there in Monticello right now. Next few hours, heading up into the low to mid 80s out there this afternoon. Sunshine for a while, and then we'll see those clouds start to develop a little bit later on. Maybe some late rain chances, but the bulk of that comes overnight. I'll tell you about that and track it out for you in just a few minutes. Olivia?
Thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, the people of Vermont are still recovering from a flood that hit them earlier in the summer.